Even before we get into the details, could I start with you? The MPP launched this manifesto quite close to home. Yeah, although not at home, but quite close to home.
It's the home of the NPP, but
in the Western
closer
region.
to my home, but the home of the NPP, because if you look at our tradition, our chairman, the vice chairman, Pat Grant and R.S. Blay, all hail from the western part of the Western region.
Yeah.
The Western region.
Right,
so it was, we were home.
Yeah.
We were home.
So I'll start off from you regarding the manifesto in general and what gives you the assurance or confidence that this manifesto will win you the ticket.
You know, manifestos in general that do three main things. One, it affords the flag bearer the chance to put the vision and the direction as far as the what he has for the country. It also offers the platform for us to account to the people what we've done, and also offers the platform for us to tell the people what we intend to do. That was what the manifesto was all about. So if you look at where we came from, we came to meet an environment of dumso. We came to meet an environment where there were no free senior high school, an environment where a lot of the government agencies within the power sector were debt distressed. An example is BOST, who were owing about $600 million, but under the MPP now is getting profit. Since 2021, they've been declaring profit. Gridco, TOR, and then VRA were all suffering from the take and pay, and then the unnecessary contracts that we sign as far as thermal generation is concerned. We came to meet an environment where there were queues. At a point in time, there were queues to even buy fuel. So when we came, what did we decided to stabilize the economy, of which it happened until COVID in 2020, and then Russian-Ukraine war in 2022. We were able to stabilize a lot of things. We brought in the free senior high school. We restored the nursing and teachers' allowances. We made sure that a lot of these entities signed contracts with SIGA because we passed the SIGA Act. And out of that, many of these agencies started making profits. An example is what I've just told you, BOST, right? So right from there,
it's interesting that we single out BOST out of the main.
Yes, because the rest are doing well. They're all doing well. I think that the state enterprise, the state-owned enterprise report will be coming up, I think by September. When it comes, you would see the revenue as well as the expenditures of these agencies, and then you'll see. We speak of BOST because it's like a model. Right, it was in a complete distress, and then if you look at the role that BOST is to play, as far as ensuring food security in the country, it tells you that it was one critical infrastructure that we had to look out for. For instance, when we had COVID, we could not import, yet people did not queue. Did you ask yourself why? Because BOST was able to provide some operational stocks for us to use during those periods. You understand? So BOST is quite significant, plays a very significant role as far as our fuel stability, fuel security is concerned.
I'll pick on two things that you've mentioned. You said you met an environment of dumso.
Sure.
And then an environment of fuel shortages,
yes.
Shortages, right. So on dumso, you met dumso, and then you served as dumcc.
The dumcc
and then
came about
on
in
fuel shortages, you solved the shortage and gave us high cost.
So this is what happened. You see, fuel, the importation of fuel is largely driven by Forex. If you look at how fuel is being imported, when you buy the product and then suppliers premium, those are in dollars. So when the BIADEC, or let me use BOST as the main importer, when BOST brings the product, it's in dollars. Sells to the OMC in dollars. The OMC now brings it goes to the retail shops, and we pay cedis. So there's a conversion factor. So when the FX is high, automatically the price of fuel becomes high. And that is why government decided to bring in another stream. That is the good for oil policy, which was aimed at removing this conversion. So I did even a research on it, good for oil comparative studies, which have been published in many of the journals. Right? If you Google, you will see it, good for oil comparative study, my position, that's how I titled it. You would see that when the good for oil, for instance, came, there was competition within the market space, the downstream market space. So the supplier's premium, which was previously $200 per metric ton, reduced, now it's going around $70 to $100 per metric tons, because there are two streams now. And then if you see the good for oil, when it came in, it completely remove the pressures on the FX. So now fuel prices decided to come down. My study was done in 2023. So at the start of 2023, diesel, for instance, was going at 22 Ghana cedis. But by close of 2023, diesel was now hovering around 13 cedis, a whopping 10 cedi gap. Meanwhile, when you go to the international market, fuel prices have not reduced.
Granted.
You understand?
You see, all this is
So
very
that's-
beautiful, but on paper.
No, it's
How
not on
much
paper.
is diesel now? How much is petrol now?
Diesel is now hovering around 14, let me say 14 cities. But
It's almost 15 cities
No,
now.
the thing is that I told you the pressures on the FX. And I've equally told you about how the...
But the same gold for oil was expected to reduce the pressures on FX.
It did.
Because
It
the BDCs were demanding too much dollar to buy the,
Of course,
the
it did. It
petroleum
did.
products.
But at that time, even the analysis I just gave you, BOSS was doing, which was the main agency implementing this good for oil, we're doing only 35% of our national import.
Right.
However, after we've entered into the IMF thing, IMF is telling Bank of Ghana that they should rather find a commercial partner, and that Bank of Ghana themselves should not be a participant. Because of that conversation going on, the good for oil have slowed down a bit. Right, it has slowed down a bit, but it does not negate the fact that after it was piloted and used for a whole year, the benefits were so great.
We all agree that
Yes.
some gains were made,
Yes.
but were they consolidated?
That
to
is why
ensure
that is why our flag bearer, in promising us with the bold solutions for jobs and businesses, says that he is going to widen the net. He is going to widen the net because God being so good, we've had Sentio, an oil refinery in the country. Can you imagine a scenario where Sentio, for instance, applies to government that he wants to participate in this good for oil program, where they would buy the crude and then we would exchange. When we buy the crude and then we refine it here, you know the benefits we are going to get from it.
But can you,
At the same
can
time,
you
it is
also
going to
imagine
be-
the scenario
it is going to be-
where we fix TOR and TOR is able to refine our crude
I
for
was
us?
coming to TOR.
Right.
You understand? I was coming to TOR because in our manifesto, we've said that TOR would have to be revamped. Currently, the TOR, they are going through the procurement to get an external investor. Because if you are within the oil space, for instance, and then you look at TOR, you will know that there are a lot of things that have to be done at TOR. For instance, even the wage bill of TOR have to be reduced. The boilers and all the things at TOR have to be changed, right? So that it can refine the sweet crude we get here in the country. That is why our flag bearer is promising that. And not only that, our flag bearer is saying that with our manifesto, is saying that we cannot do things as it is. That is why we say Baumia means business. If Baumia means business, what does it mean? It means you have to create conditions for businesses to thrive. And if businesses are going to thrive, one of the key areas we have to look at is their the tax net.
Yes, the tax
that is why
regime.
he's saying that he wants to reform the tax. Already, you know, there is a saying in Akan, there's a if a person who have chewed swallowed a dondo, if he says he's going to take the stick, you don't argue with the person. When we came, people who were paying taxes, they were around 1.8 million. 1.8 million. By virtue of the fact of making the Ghana card a primary document and making it a TIN, a tax identification number, jumped from 1.8 million to 80 million as we speak. Right? That is over 1,000%.
Let me come to Honorable and pick his thoughts.
Oh, you wouldn't.
On
You
the manifesto as well.
should have allowed me to land, right?
Finish up in 30 seconds.
So
and then let me go to
the
Honorable
flat
and
rate
pick his
tax
thoughts on the
system
manifesto as
and
well.
then the tax reform we are proposing is to reform the business environment so that the business can employ a lot of people, and by so doing, we grow the country. That is what we are promising by saying bold solutions for jobs and business.
And Baumia means
business.
Granted. Thank you very much, Moni. Honorable, so the MPP is promising jobs by creating a conducive environment for private sector to thrive. They're promising tax reforms, promising a flat rate at the port. The digitalization drive is also on. Care for the elderly, among a host of other things. I'm sure you listened to the manifesto as was read by Dr. Baumia. I'm sure you've seen the document and may have possibly perused it by now. First off, what is your takeaway from the manifesto?
First of all, my good brother, let me use this opportunity to say a very good morning to my brother here, and then to use your platform to say Good morning to my constituent, the good people of Sisala West, and all your cherished viewers. I like the fact that my brother has, eloquently trying to paint a certain picture as though this government is doing something fantastic. He spoke about the fact that they inherited Dumso and that they were able to, to turn many of the state agencies. Even he's not even shy. I heard him mention TOR. That the last time you heard of TOR, when was the last time you heard of TOR?
TOR is on its knees, actually.
On its knees. I mean, a lot of things currently, as we speak, are happening as far as TOR is concerned. And all other state agencies, he can only talk about the fact that he says that bust. And I like the fact that you question him, why is he singling out only bust? Is the only institution that is doing well. He says that until they took over, many of the agencies were not doing well.
State-owned enterprises.
Exactly. I just want to point to him that it is not true. In 2016, so Tama Oil Refinery made profit of about $800,000. That was, you can check, cross-check. $800,000 profit in 2016, in April 2016. You can cross-check, you can Google, you will get that. And so if you say that because of certain policies implemented during from the time you took over governance, that is why we are seeing a lot of transformation. Transform where? If the agencies certainly are doing well, we will not be having unemployment keep rising. Youth unemployment. Of course, when an agency is doing well, every organization, when you are doing well, you will think about expanding. And when you expand, certainly you create a lot of, vacancies. Therefore, you would have to recruit people to, to join you. And so if you are talking about the fact that the agencies are performing, they are making profits, it means that those profits can they can use the profit to create more employment. And we
but that notwithstanding, are these agencies making profit or not?
No,
because
apart from
he mentioned Bust, but then you can talk about the Ghana Publishing as well.
Ghana Publishing. You see, he mentioned Bust. We are not of the view, if you say, for profit, what is profit? After your cost of operations, right? When you take your cost of operation from your revenue, whatever that is left, that is your profit. Yeah. And it is not in the case that in the past, until they came to power, those agencies were not doing well. There were several other agencies that were doing well, were making profit, but that is not the discussion. The discussion is about the manifesto of NPP. The proposals that they are putting before the people of this country to consider. That is what we are discussing now. And if you look at their manifesto, today, the same people that brought upon a lot of taxes, right, kept pressure on the business community, kept pressure on you and I. A lot of pressure. There's not even breathing space for any business in this country. Today is telling the people of this country that, please vote for me. When you vote for me, I will do A, B, C, D. Look, if I had the opportunity to be where His Excellency the Vice President is today, it's about we are doing it and not we will do this. If you say we will, when you have the opportunity, in fact, to start implementing what you are proposing?
But could it also not be that upon reflection, we've realized or noticed our mistakes?
Let me tell you, what they did at Western Region is just another way of trying to scam the people of this country. And look, let me be honest with you. When I looked at the document, the document is purely a scam.
Why would you say so?
It's a scam.
They have engaged the people, taking their issues into consideration. There's a manifesto committee that engaged Ghanaians.
I am saying that where in the document did you even hear anybody mentioning the economy? We're talking about the economy of Ghana. Where in the manifesto? I was surprised.
I'm coming. Include the jobs and then the taxation and all that.
Please. Boss, I was surprised to have seen a new word for an economy, which is cost of living? That is the word they smartly instituted because they cannot go near to talk about.
So you think
the economy? They substituted the economy for cost of living. Of course, you see, in 2016, these are a group of people who packaged themselves as the best for this country. They in fact, they came out with number of problems that Ghana at the time were faced with. And they actually line up themselves, saying they were the men that could take us out of the situation. Now, they came into power for the past 80 years. What have we seen? I am happy you mentioned to him that today, the fuel of, how do you call it? A liter of fuel is how much? It's almost 16 cities. That was a gallon of fuel at the time. Yet they told the people of this country that it was too expensive. His government said it. They actually campaigned with gallon. He again says something which is not true, that people used to queue to buy fuel. Why in this country did people queue to buy fuel?
We had periods of fuel shortage.
No, periods of fuel shortage. Can you mention where did people queue to buy fuel?
There were periods of fuel shortage.
He spoke about, he spoke about Dumso.
Yeah.
Before MPP took over in 2017, were we still experiencing Dumso in 2017? We were out of Dumso before they even took over governance. And the number of policy, the number of decisions taken, you saw the number of, how do you call it? The Amari plant that was brought, several other, you know, how do you call it, plants were brought into the country just because we needed to solve the problem. Ask him for the past 8 years, the number of kilowatt added to our national grid, his government, for the past 8 years. The only thing they did was to transfer the plant from its original place to Kumasi at a cost of more than $35 million. That is the only thing they did. And so if you talk about you have solved Dunso, solved Dunso with what?
So you have no hope in this manifesto?
I have no. This is the most hopeless manifesto and the most calm manifesto. Let me tell you why it is calm. It is calm because they presented a manifesto as though they are in opposition. That is, if you listen and look at how they are campaigning, when it comes to any achievement, they attach Dr. Bawumia to those achievements. If it is about failures, he's a driver mate. But if it is about achievement, and listen, I watched the program when when the president was speaking.
They may be right in doing so because he came with his own policies or ideas, and if he has achieved on those that he brought, his initiatives.
Which policy?
His digitalization, the Ghana card.
No, let me tell you. Bawumia tell me where in MPP manifesto when they were campaigning in 2016. Tell me where they mentioned that Bawumia was going to champion digitalization. Tell me
whether they mentioned it or not. Then he's the one championing it, right?
Are you not the host of the program?
I am.
And so if all of a sudden you are fumbling and you decide to shift to production and you say that you are specialized in production, it doesn't mean that that is the original purpose.
Yes,
Bawumia was brought in. He was a vice, and he was brought in as somebody. He was brought in as somebody who was an
economic
messiah. In fact, the wife branded him as the economic whiskey. You understand?
Yeah.
When he realized that the seat was too hot, that he could not, he lost control. He decided to even took over from the how do you call it, the communication minister. Digitalization is something that is supposed to be championed by a sector minister. And where have you ever heard Honorable Ursula's name mentioned when it comes to those things? It is because they are smart in rebranding. And for that one, you can't take it away from them. They can rebrand even yam phone and sell it to you as a smartphone.
Right.
These are people we are dealing with. And so I am saying that the people of this country are very descending now. We cannot be scammed once more, because we were scammed in 2016, 2020. They use Russia, Ukraine, COVID, and all of these things. Today, we are talking about there's no any external problem anywhere. We are talking about reality. And we are talking about the cost of living. We are talking about the cost of transportation from Accra here to Kumasi. How much it used to cost you to travel from here to Kumasi. And today, how much it used to cost you from here to Kumasi. We are talking about how much we used to buy fuel. And today, how much we used to buy fuel. We are talking about how much an importer used to import a 20-footer container with an item into Ghana. And we are talking about the item same item, right? The importer is paying to import. So these are basic economics that we're talking about.
Right.
All the things they just said there. I am saying that if you say I will, why would you wait for them to vote for you again? Propose. I don't think His Excellency the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, would want to see Bawumia fail or would want to see Bawumia lose his 2024 election. What is preventing them from, in fact, they had opportunity, right? Some of the decisions, they just met Parliament, I think a month ago, mid-year budget. They could have decided to, to say that we are reducing some of the taxes, abolishing some of the taxes. They could have said that, okay, in starting to implement our proposal to the people of Ghanaians, this is how we are starting.
So you have answers to the challenges.
Of course.
Because on Saturday you are launching your manifesto. We are launching
our manifesto. We have told the people of this country, the manifesto of NDC is about the people of this country. It is about addressing the challenges being imposed by the current government. That is what our manifesto stands for. What is it about? It is about the jobs. Anywhere you go in this country, the youth are saying job, job, job.
But they also promise jobs in their manifesto.
The promise job. When they are sitting, they can start creating the jobs. How many jobs have they created?
They've created 2.3 million jobs.
They should justify how those jobs were created. You were in this country and they came out with a program, NAPCO trainees. Where are they? They could not even pay for NAPCO. And you are talking about jobs created.
They created the youth in afforestation.
Youth in afforestation. Go to the rural force. Go out there and find out whether those youth in afforestation. I served on Lands and Natural Resources Committee in Parliament, and I'm telling you that thing is it doesn't exist. It does not exist. I am saying that the NDC manifesto, which is the 24-hour economy, is about job creation. The 24-hour economy is saying that any organization, right, if you are ready to sign onto the 24-hour economy, which is you would have, the formula is one job, how do you call it? 3 shifts. Right? So 8 hours. When you work from 8 o'clock to 5 p.m., somebody will start from 5 p.m. to someone will also come and relieve. It means that the production of the particular organization is going to increase. And so government, John Dramani Mahama is proposing that he would give tax incentives to those organizations. It is about job creation.
Right.
He again promised the youth of this country that he is going to embark on massive apprenticeship program. Today, go to Nigeria. All these things that we are, look at my dress. This is made in Africa. This is actually made in Ghana. This is somebody's work.
Yeah.
And I can tell you the amount of money the person is making. I don't want to use your platform to, to try to market some individuals, but I can tell you that those who are into apprentice, like those who want to self, be it function, mechanics and all of these things, we have the youth who have the passion to go into those things, but they don't have the ability to pay for the cost. They don't have the ability, so government, our NDC is proposing that when Ghanaians give us the opportunity, which inshallah they are going to do that on 7th December, we are going to embark on massive apprenticeship program. I have, and I'm happy that good people of Zala West are watching your program. I have started this program 2 years ago. Just last week, I released an amount of 45,000 to paying those young ladies and young men who are into apprenticeship. I paid for their course of training, and I assure them that when they are able to complete the course and they are ready to establish, I would look for funds to support them so that they can start creating jobs for the good people of Sisala West. And that is what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is saying. So the 24-hour economy that he spoke about, it is all about job creation. And then the apprenticeship program he's talking about, it's all about job creation. Let me tell you, if you go to DVLA today, briefly, let me just if you go to DVLA today, go and see the number of people queuing at DVLA. From morning, if you are here, as a host, you work from City, is it Channel One TV from 8 a.m., let's say 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. DVLA operate from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you have something to do at DVLA, before you close from work,
5 p.m.
5 p.m. you cannot get. But at least if there's a shift from 5 p.m. to another 8 hours time, you can take your time after work. You can go there and still get the same service that you want. If you go to Lands Commission, maybe you have issues that you have a land that you want to register and you need to go there to start
I
the
think
process.
it's clear.
So these are things that we're talking about.
Right.
So there will be a lot of vacancy that government will create more space or organizations will create more space to enable those organizations to recruit. Today we're talking about police recruitment. That means that the police.
Let me have you hold that thought.
It's going to create
let me have you hold that thought.
So this is the manifesto we are talking about. This is the manifesto, and look, recently the youth manifesto. He mentioned one of our
let's go for a break.
Policy.
When we come back, we'll finalize that